As Coach Rex here, and we are going over identity part 4 today. We're talking about one of the biggest traps that we all fall into, which is confusing who we are with the roles we play. Okay, roles change, roles end, and roles evolve, but identity is the one constant underneath all of that. If you've ever felt lost after a breakup or a job change, leaving the military, or even losing a title, this episode is for you. Okay, roles are temporary. Identity is not. Here's the truth. Most of us, we are building our entire sense of self around a role. A husband, a father, a veteran, or I'm a leader, I'm a provider, protector, I'm a high performer, right? We identify as all of these different types of roles. And these roles matter, but they're not you. Roles are like assignments, okay? Think of it like that. Identity is the operator behind that assignment. The collapse really happens when the role ends. And this is why so many of us fall apart after transition. For example, the marriage, it ends. You've been at a job most of your life. What if that changes? What about your kids? Your kids grow up, they move out of the house, or the uniform comes off, right? You transition back into civilian life. Or you started a business and that business fails. Or your title disappears. And suddenly you don't know who the hell you are because your identity was built on that role, and that role has now expired. You see, roles are external. Identity is going to be internal. Now, roles are going to depend on circumstances, where identity depends on character. Your roles are given to you, and identity is chosen by you. Roles can be taken away, and identity cannot. The roles are what you do, and identity is who you are when everything else is stripped away. Look, here's the danger of over identifying with a role. When you over identify with a role, you start to lose yourself while you're trying to maintain that role. You tolerate the things that you shouldn't. You perform instead of living. You become rigid, anxious, or even resentful. Hell, you even start to fear change because it threatens your identity. This is how we get stuck. When identity is anchored in character, it's unshakable. When your identity is built on character, not your roles, you become unfucking breakable because character travels with you. Integrity is going to travel with you. Discipline travels with you. Compassion travels with you. Leadership travels with you. Your purpose, it travels with you. Where roles shift, the identity stays. Remember, it's the operator. You're the operator. Now let's rebuild your identity after a role ends, right? You've lost a role recently. That's tough. It can be tough. But here's the truth. You didn't lose yourself. A lot of us think that way. You lost the version of you that was tied to that role. But here's the great part. Now you get to rebuild intentionally. Knowing this now, this is the moment where you rediscover who you are without the uniform, without the title, without the relationship, without the performance. This is where identity becomes real. I want you to write down every role you currently are playing, whether it's your father, a partner, you're a leader, a veteran, a coach, whatever it is, write it down. Who are you without any of those roles? How did you show up for those roles? Okay? That's the fucking list right there. That is your identity. Start living from there. Roles are assignments. Identity is the operator. When you know the difference, life can shift and you can stay grounded. Now, if this episode is hitting, please share it. Please like, subscribe, all that. Love you guys. Reach out if you need anything.